Yep. Okay, we're going to call the special meeting for the Arm of Lac du Bonnet on the award of tenders to order on the 3rd of February, 2026. The item number 2 is the Arm of Lac du Bonnet Council acknowledges that we are located on Treaty 1 and Treaty 3 territories, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Anishinaabe, the Dakota, Dene people, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. Before we get going, we have Councillor Easton on Zoom. Councillors Kellendonk, myself, and Deputy Reeve Manzik are here, and Councillor Enns Preston couldn't make it last night or this morning because she worked midnights. So she's absent but hasn't been excused. Acceptance of the agenda. Item number 3, and that resolution is moved by Councillor Kellendonk, seconded by Deputy Reeve Manzik. Be it resolved that the agenda for the February 3rd, 2026 special meeting be hereby adopted as circulated. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Item number 4 is the award of tender for the Wood Duck Boat Launch Dredging Project, and that resolution is moved by Deputy Reeve Manzik, seconded by Councillor Easton. Whereas the Arm of Lac du Bonnet invited tender submissions for the dredging of the Wood Duck Boat Launch with the closing date on January 23rd, 2026 at 12:00 p.m. And whereas the Arm of Lac du Bonnet Council opened tender submissions at a special meeting on January 23rd, 2026 at 2:00 p.m. And whereas 3 proponents submitted bids. And whereas this project was preliminarily budgeted at $300,000 and will be included in the 2026 financial plan. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the Arm of Lac du Bonnet hereby awards the Wood Duck Boat Launch Dredging Project to RBI Aggregates for the sum of $200,078, plus GST. And further be it resolved that Council approves transferring the funds from this project from the Canada Community Building Fund Reserve. Deputy Reeve Manzik, I believe you want to speak to this project.
I can allow.
Councillor Kellendonk, you want anybody?
A few words.
Recording in progress.
Why don't you go first?
Okay.
Oh, I'm having technical difficulties.
Okay. After yesterday's Facebook comments that took place, I decided that I really want to clarify what actually is taking place here for this project. So I went home after our meeting yesterday and put together a few notes that I'm going to go through right now. Let's start by taking a step back before we get into the actual council resolution. I asked the question, what are considered as infrastructure or public assets? Roads, parking lots, water, sewer, transfer station assets, lagoon system, equipment, heavy and light, buildings, admin, public works, transfer stations, cemeteries, parks, sports fields, recreational structures, walking trails, active transportation trails, washrooms, and boat launches. Why should the municipality maintain these public assets? Where we are today in regards to the maintenance of our assets. Roads and parking lots. We currently maintain a road system on a daily basis. There are many safety reasons on why a municipality must maintain their road infrastructure. Water and sewer. Although the RM currently has a very limited number of water and sewer systems, we are mandated by law and legislation to ensure that we are regularly inspecting them and must ensure that we have the monies available to pay for these maintenance activities. Transfer station. There are many moving pieces of infrastructure at our transfer stations, including but not limited to bins, buildings, fencing, to name a few, that must be maintained on a regular basis to ensure the operation continues to operate effectively and safely. Lagoon system. By provincial legislation, our lagoon system requires an ongoing maintenance to ensure that our private operators have somewhere to pump sewage into. Included in this maintenance is bank maintenance, line maintenance, between sewage, the line maintenance between sewage cells and more. Equipment, ensuring that our equipment is in proper running condition ensures that we can continue to provide maintenance services to ratepayers of our municipality. Everything from oil changes to our heavy and light equipment to grader blades to hydraulics. All of this maintenance and more places the municipality in a position to provide valuable services to the public. With the price of equipment in 2026, the more we maintain now, the less we are vulnerable for large repair bills. Buildings. Throughout the municipality, we own a number of buildings, included but not limited to administrative office, public works office, and shops, transfer station, waste scale, and on-site buildings. Not unlike our own households, it is important to ensure that we maintain our building infrastructure to limit any expensive deficiencies in the future. Cemeteries. Our cemeteries and maintenance of these areas are extremely important to our ratepayers. This is why the municipality has taken over the maintenance activities a number of years ago. Parks, sports fields, structures, walking trails. Something that is sometimes overlooked is the condition of our parks and everything on those public pieces of land. A number of years ago, the municipality took over the responsibility of the maintenance in our parks and active transportation trails to ensure that they're kept in well-maintained condition for safety and recreational reasons. Our washrooms, over the past 15 years, the municipality has designed, built, and established public washrooms at a number of the locations in parks and boat launches. These structures require frequent maintenance activities to ensure that they are kept in safe condition for the public. The RM has established regularly planned maintenance activities for the above noted public assets. These assets have evolved over the years and the maintenance programs have evolved with them. Boat launches. The municipality has the following public boat launches. La Vérendrye, the RM currently shares responsibility of this boat launch with the town of Lac du Bonnet. The RM and town built and installed a new washroom at this location as the previous washroom was dysfunctional at that time. Winnipeg River, this boat launch received some upgrades in 2024 with the installation of a new dock and walkway. In 2025, the RM replaced the washroom on that site. Fernwood, this boat was identified in early 2012 that it required a serious amount of maintenance to ensure that a number of safety deficiencies were addressed. Some of the upgrades included at that time were as follows. A new dock installed, launch site and road site leading down to the launch were redone to ensure patron safety when launching in and out. Major drainage work along both sides of the boat launch road and the launch itself were completed to ensure no standing water or vehicles getting stuck. Parking lot expanded. Park shade structure replaced with a new structure. Park in general, tree pruning activities. Park green space maintenance, to name a few. Osprey, this boat launch was acquired from the previous BOW Cottage Association when the Cottage Association folded. When the municipality took over responsibility to launch, the following improvements were made. Improved the parking area with new material. Installed a fence line. Cleaned up the adjacent green space and banks. Installed a new public washroom. And I note, no maintenance has taken place regarding the waterway entrance and launch area, which requires extensive work to ensure the safety of the users. Wood duck. This boat launch received maintenance activities over the years also. The boat launch was dredged in 2011, installed a washroom at the site in 2015, replacing the existing concrete launch. Installed a new dock in 2020 and 2014, which runs adjacent to the launch. Also a note here is the Cottage Association over the years have made numerous requests to establish docking slips at this site. Due to budget restrictions at that time, we couldn't accommodate those requests. As noted above, the municipality has a responsibility to provide ongoing maintenance for all of our infrastructure assets, not some of them, all of them. Boat launches are part of our public assets. After 15 years of silting at this site, the site is long overdue for a redo. This project addresses all of our safety concerns. The municipality also has a responsibility to listen to our residents as it pertains to large infrastructure projects. Part of this communication includes our cottage associations. Projects such as this is partly why we established a joint cottage association and development association committee, which helps council establish communication on a year-to-year basis and get year-to-year budget ideas from these groups. Partnerships. Council promotes partnerships within our community. We consider our many cottage association and develop associations as partners in our community. This is why our council offered to partner with Cottage Association, River's Edge, to help them attain their overall goals. It just makes some sense. In this case, the local Cottage Association has requested on numerous occasions over the years to establish dock slips in the surrounding area. As a partner, the Cottage Association would be responsible for the establishment of 2 boat dock slips. This request is timely as the RM will be able to establish enough room for these slips during the dredging of this launch. This is no different than us partnering with a Cottage Association or a private entity for the naming rights of a park or some other asset. Some of my closing comments on this issue is this maintenance activity is something that should have taken place at least 5 years ago. Unfortunately, the funds that could have been applied to this maintenance project and most likely another similar dredging project were used to build a new boat launch. Simply put, we should not be adding new pieces of infrastructure to our list of assets if we have not done a good job in maintaining our existing ones. This is not a new boat launch. It is an existing public boat launch established years ago that requires maintenance. This is not about allowing a cottage association to run a private docking system at a public boat launch. This is about establishing a partnership between them and the municipality, which will provide the area with added services at very little cost to the municipality. When the municipality can enter into a partnership with an entity, whether it is a cottage association or a private company, it can lower the overall cost of that specific project. This is what is happening on this project. This is not about catering to a certain area of the RM. This is about catering to our infrastructure. No matter where the infrastructure is located, it deserves maintenance activities like other assets receive. These maintenance activities are not new services being brought forward. They are maintenance activities that have been deferred by the RM that took a backseat to a new boat launch. The bottom line is that this deferred maintenance is something that the RM is still responsible for at the end of the day. We must continue to maintain a safe and stable infrastructure. In comparison, and in closing, ongoing maintenance planning for all of our assets is no different than someone planning a maintenance program for their own house or their vehicle. That sums up my small.
Thank you, Deputy
comment.
Reeve Manziuk. Very well said, and I certainly concur with all of your comments. Very well said and very well laid out. Councillor Kellendonk, you want to speak to this?
I thank Deputy Reeve Manziuk because you just cut my comments down to about a third.
We're happy about that, by the way.
I appreciate that. I guess there's just a couple things I would like to provide a little bit of background into these boat launches, just for the benefit of the public and based on the assumptions and the rumors that have been spreading on social media. I want to first say to the public, although I truly appreciate feedback from our community and I encourage it, I greatly encourage engagement with the public. However, I will not accept abusive phone calls. What transpired yesterday was beyond any level of reason, and it was completely unjustified. So, for clarity, when this development was first conceived, the boat launches, both Wood Duck and Osprey, were intended to be public boat launches. However, council of the day decided that they didn't want to take on a public asset at that time. So what occurred was, in the development plan, it was agreed that once a certain percentage of cottage owners were willing to create their own association, they would take over the maintenance and the operation of those boat launches. And that did occur for a number of years. But unfortunately, things changed, or fortunately, and both those boat launches were turned over to the RM of Lac Du Bonnet, making it a public access for everybody. So just to be absolutely clear, the developer has had nothing to do with these boat launches since at least 2008. To 2010, they've been a cottage association and then a municipal responsibility. So there is nothing fishy, there is no funds changing hands, that's all rumors, false information, and it needs to stop. And the other thing I wish to point out, that in Manitoba, the legal obligation for a municipality to maintain its infrastructure and assets is grounded in statutory duties under the Manitoba Municipal Act and other related provincial policies or regulations, legislation, sorry. In the case of the boat launch, constructing and maintaining the infrastructure has to be to a standard that's appropriate for its intended use. So with Wood Duck, Deputy Reed Manzik pointed out that the required dredging was delayed for other project reasons. It's imperative that we catch up on this maintenance because it creates a liability to the municipality, to every taxpayer, should there be any damages or, God forbid, any injury to anybody at these infrastructures. So we are required by law. This isn't something that we're doing to favor anybody, it's a legal obligation. And I hope that if people have questions, I encourage them to come to us and we will answer and provide the information the best to our ability. And I just want to make one other comment here, because the Leaside boat launch has come up very aggressively again. And people need to understand that that project failed. We are in litigation. We cannot move forward, sideways, backwards on it until this litigation has ended. So we are not holding anything back. We are not stalling. This is another legal obligation we are bound to. So I hope that addresses the rumors that have been floating around. And I hope it causes people to think before they make a phone call and become very aggressive and make threats. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Very well said, Councillor Kellendonk, and I concur fully with your comments. And I fully agree that there's nothing fishy going on here. Just for the record. I know we have Councillor Easton, who took the time out of his excellent holiday. Wish we could be there with you. I don't know if we have repaired the audio portion.
I don't think so.
No.
You guys can't hear me?
I see his lips moving, but I don't hear anything,
Sorry.
so I guess we haven't. But he'll be able to participate in the vote. I don't have anything to add. I think that's very well said, Council. I think this is a project certainly that is long overdue on the dredging side. I know we've received a number of complaints, and I concur fully that we have an obligation to this. And my apologies to Councillor Kellendonk for receiving the barrage of emails or the abusive phone calls. That is totally unacceptable. And I want to thank certainly the administrative team for putting the packages together here on Public Works. And I want to thank the vendors that did put in the bids here and responded to the request for proposals for the municipality. And thank you for taking the time. Unfortunately, we can only we can go with the information that we have. And we've outlined that RBI Aggregates will be awarded the contract here in the resolution. That said, I think that I'd like to have a recorded vote on this.
Can I just make one
Yes,
comment?
yes, sir.
And one more too.
Okay, go ahead.
Just because I went on my roll there regarding the maintenance end of it, I should have made some comment about the excellent work that our local contractors did in submitting a bid here.
Yeah.
This is exactly why we have local contractors on our lists here, and the work that they do is phenomenal. So this is just one small example of what we get from our local contractors here, and it is
Here.
really good, really good work.
Councillor Kellendon?
Just for further clarification, because this was a big question too, to expand on what I was saying earlier about the original design plans for those boat launches, one of them, Wood Deck, did have a plan for slips for backlot owners. That was part of the original plan. However, when the RM of the day, the council of the day, decided not to take that on as a public asset, there were changes made, but the intention always was to enable the backlot owners to have access to the water. Now, things did change over time, but the proposed docks that are going up in there are not being paid for by the RM. That is the association that.
It's a partnership.
For that.
Partnership.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that as well.
Yeah. And I think too, we've, as a council, have received a number of inquiries since I've been here about why don't you put a dock there, and that would have been at the municipality's expense and dealing with shorelands and stuff. And we also had a submission for a number of docks. A gentleman came in and did a presentation to council about, actually sort of a mini marina there. But again, council then chose to not go that way because just here we are today. But again, I appreciate the comments of council, and where I'll call for the vote again. I would appreciate a recorded vote. Of course, Councillor Ann Preston isn't here, so she'll be absent, and I'll call for the vote then.
So
Yeah.
Truck again. Councillor Easton, just so you're aware, we can't hear you here.
Yeah,
You
but
can be heard online.
yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. So I'll call for the vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Uh,
Carried. Thank you. And again, thanks to the vendors that put in, thanks to the Public Works Department and our administrative team and council for being here today to move this project forward. Obviously, there's some timelines as well within that the contract, because this kind of work needs to be done in the wintertime. Hence, we had a special meeting to open the tenders, and this special meeting here today is exclusively to deal with the award of that tender. So thanks very much, everyone, for your cooperation. And the resolution to adjourn is moved by Councillor Easton, seconded by Deputy Remanzik. Be it resolved that the special meeting of February 3rd, 2026 be hereby adjourned at 9:25 a.m. Those in favor? Aye. And Councillor Easton, enjoy the rest of your holiday, sir. Take care and have a couple of cervezas for us, okay? Thanks for joining us. And thanks to those that joined us online as well. Everybody enjoy the warm spell that's coming, and blame it on the groundhog. We got another 6 weeks of winter. Take care, everyone.